There's been a ferry across the Mersey for more than 800 years, providing a link between Liverpool and the Wirral shorelines. Pier Head, our starting point, takes its name from the long stone pier which once jutted out into the river from the shore next to the Sailors' Church, the Church of Our Lady and St Nicholas. You can see the church at the back and to the left of the Liver building, with a golden square rigger ship on its mountain-top tower.
The modern 250-metre terminal on the right is Liverpool's cruise liner berth. Cruise lines including Cunard, Norwegian Cruise Line, Costa Cruises, Celebrity, Disney, Princess and Viking cruises sail into the city year-round.
In all, 7 miles of docks and 23 miles of quays stretch along the Liverpool foreshore. In 1710, the Corporation of Liverpool started work on the world's first commercial oil dock, and by the end of the century, the city boasted of 4 docks. Steam had revolutionized
The building was actually built back to front, so that the front could face the river. Ships were crowded, and conditions were trying to persuade
Well,
day, honestly. It's like, I mean, I'm not a fairground person. It's not like Manchester or something. No, it's a Merseyside. It's like on the Magnolia side. Yeah, it's good. You've got the fairground proper. I don't look at the fair. I like the cars. You just want to just start almost.
Is due to open at the start of the 2025-26 Premier League season, replacing Goodison Park, the club's home since 1892. Brownley Dock, opened in 1888, was also designed by Jesse Hartley and primarily used as a coal dock. The dock was in use for 140 years, but as coal-fired steamships fell out of use and the coal mine in South Lancashire closed, demand for coal disappeared, and Brownley Dock was eventually closed in 1989.
The large wind turbines that you can see provide the power to the Royal Seaforth Dock, which is the prime container terminal for North America. Approximately 70% of the Northwest freight runs through Liverpool. Completed in 2016 and adjacent to the dock is Liverpool Tube, bringing deep containers capable of handling 2 post-Panamax vessels a day. This doubles the container handling capacity of the had an unusual quality because between 1908 and 1957, 205 national, European and world records were broken here.
The tall, square tower, looking something like a giant stereo, is the Kingsway Road Tunnel Ventilation Tower. Its twin is on the Liverpool side of the river. Seacombe Ferry Terminal has undergone a major reconstruction, including the replacement of its Victorian link-span bridges and refurbishment of the landing stage and terminal building. Seacombe is also home to Eureka Science and Discovery, a new visitor attraction designed for children and young people up to 14 years. Visit to discover how science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics influence and shape our lives, connecting the everyday with the extraordinary.
Welcome aboard one of the most famous ferries in the world. Please pay attention to the emergency procedure notices displayed around the vessel. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you will hear 7 short blasts followed by 1 prolonged blast on the whistle. If you hear this signal, please make your way to the life jacket assembly points following the assembly station direction signs displayed. The crew will be on hand to give instructions and advice. Please note that smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, is not permitted on any part of the vessel, and for your own safety, we also ask you not to stand on vessels or sit on the ship's rails. We ask cyclists to alight after all foot passengers have left the vessel. Please be aware that at low tide, the link-span passenger bridges will be actively vital. This time of day is not relevant. You may have difficulty if you have reduced mobility, so please ask for help if required, and take care. Photography and filming may take place during this cruise, and may be used for the purpose of promoting Mersey ferries online, in print and on social media. The ferry service as we know it today was created by the engineer William Parsons in 1863, constructed the vertical landing stage. Parsons suffered much criticism, with predictions that the first storms of winter would carry the landing stages away. Nevertheless, as you can see, his idea has stood the test of time, and is still the most convenient way of getting passengers on and off the ferry. Over the years, the Mersey ferries have not only provided transport for visitors in the River and Merseyside, they have also played their part during post-World Wars. In the First World War, 2 of the Wallasey ferries, the Iris and the Daffodil, were commandeered by the government and used as landing craft for the Royal Marine in a daring raid to neutralise the port of Zeebrugge on the 23rd of April 1915. Both of the ferries were badly damaged by artillery and machine gun fire, but managed to escape being linked back to Dover. Because of their work, King George V allowed the vessels to use the word royal in their name, and after extensive committee, they resumed their peacetime activities as the Royal Daffodil and the Royal Iris.
You can now see the roll-on, roll-off ferry terminal called 12 Keys, connecting the Wirral with Belfast. It is along this stretch of shoreline where the famous 1 o'clock gun still stands. A cannon was fired from here at 1 o'clock every afternoon, except Sundays and bank holidays, and was used by the ships to check their chronometers. This event finally stopped on the 18th of July, 1969.
Even before the Mersey beat of the early 1960s, Liverpool had a reputation for a lively, popular music scene. As a thriving port, this city was a hub for entertainment and leisure, and the Mersey ferries played a significant role in that tradition. From its arrival in 1951, the Royal Irish manager, to Brian Epstein, ditched their leathers for smart suits, shirts and ties. And for their final show, they had replaced their drummer Pete Best with Ringo. Many bands played on the Royal Iris over the years, including Jerry and the Pacemakers, The Searchers, Acapulco, The Farm and Elvis Costello. If you're interested in finding out more about the Beatles, you can visit the award-winning attraction, The Beatles Story, which is based at the Royal Albert Dock. The attraction takes visitors on an immersive journey through the lives, times, culture and music of the Beatles, and contains an impressive collection of fascinating memorabilia. For more information, or to buy tickets in advance, please visit the Beatles Story website.
As we sail past Woodside, you can see in the distance some of the elegant Victorian architecture built during Birkenhead's heyday. Birkenhead was the first town in Europe to operate a dedicated passenger tramway, and the first ever public park was built here, an idea of the lair of a famous shipbuilder. It was paid for by the council and designed by Joseph Paxton, the famous designer of the Crystal Palace that featured in the Great Exhibition of 1851. The park, officially opened in 1847, offered opportunities for recreation to all Birkenhead residents, the formation of park-based clubs. Paxton's design was later copied on a much grander scale by an American named Bolster, who prototyped the New York's Central Park. The clock tower with the green dome is Birkenhead Town Hall, and stands in the elegant Hamilton Square, one of the finest Victorian squares in Britain, and which, apart from Trafalgar Square, has the most Grade 1 listed buildings in one place in Britain. Carried over 3,000 passengers in luxury, as well as 6,000 tons of cargo. She had an amazing history. She laid the first Atlantic telephone cable, killed her first captain, and had 4 mutinies. She had 5 funnels, and her 6 masts were named after the days of the week, Monday to Saturday. The 4th mast, Thursday, became the flagpole of Liverpool Football Club at Anfield. Even as she was being broken up, she held a surprise. The skeleton of a worker was found who must have been trapped in her hull when she was being built.
The long piers with the big gantry cranes on the river are part of the Tranmere oil terminal, which can handle tankers weighing up to 300,000 tonnes. More than 10 million tonnes of oil are discharged here every year and then pumped 10 miles upriver to the oil refinery at Stanlow, the second largest refinery in England. We are now off Rock Ferry, which from the early 1820s became a popular residential area for Liverpool businessmen who took advantage of the ferry services to move home to the Wirral. Many made their homes in the newly built prestigious houses in the privately owned Rock Park, fronting the river. As the century progressed, an esplanade was built linking Rock Ferry to New Ferry, and the area developed into a day-tripper resort. The American novelist and short story writer Nathaniel Hawthorne lived at Rock Park for 4 years during the 1850s, whilst working at the American consul in Liverpool. An extract from his diary reads, "At Rock Ferry, there was a great lobby formally sitting like a white four-car. There were bands with music and bands, and a small procession after them, and a school and charity church enjoying the festival. And there was a club of respectable persons playing at bowls on the bowling green of the hotel. And there were children and infants riding on the donkeys at a penny a ride." The hotel to which Hawthorne refers was the Royal Rock, a popular destination for ferry passengers who took a trip to Rock Ferry to enjoy a drink, a game of bowls, or a walk on the esplanade. In the late 1930s, a layer of mud began to wash over the sandy beach, and in 1939, the ferry service was discontinued. The area gradually deteriorated, and the old pier was replaced by a jetty connected with Tranmere oil terminal, parts of which can still be seen. Eventually, the Royal Rock Hotel was demolished.
Further ahead are the eastern locks into the Manchester Ship Canal. Manchester, a city that was at the centre of the North's Industrial Revolution, was provided with a vital passage to the rest of the world when the canal was opened in 1894. It carried imports of raw cotton to the heart of the Lancashire cotton industry, some 35 miles away. By 1955, the canal was carrying over 18 million tonnes of goods every year. Amongst the many ships that use the canal now are the Mersey ferries, operating day trips from Liverpool and Wirral to Warrington and back. The cruise gives passengers the opportunity to experience a round trip in the same day. Cruises operate on selected dates during the summer months. Please check the Mersey Ferries website for details.
If you look over towards Liverpool, you get a fine view of Liverpool's 2 cathedrals and the Museum of Liverpool. The museum is the largest newly built national museum in the UK for over 100 years. The story of Liverpool is told through displays drawn from exhibits related to the city from National Museum Liverpool's entire collection. Visitors can explore how the port, its people, and their creative and sporting history have shaped the city. The red sandstone Anglican Cathedral, designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott when he was only 23, took 74 years to build and is the largest Anglican cathedral in the world. To the left, the delicate spires of the Metropolitan Catholic Cathedral of Christ the King top an enormous and beautiful stained glass lantern, which during the day projects a vivid display of light radiating throughout its interior.
On the river, ships are guided by the red and green buoys which mark the deep water channel. These buoys follow the International Maritime System. Red is kept on the left or port, and green on the right or starboard. Unlike British car drivers, ships navigate on the right. The black and yellow buoy warns against the Pluckington sandbank, which stretches right below the water as far as Pierhead landing stage. Sandbanks, strong currents and fog all plague the Mersey and make it a very treacherous river. The Liverpool South docks stretching in front of us are no longer used as commercial docks, but were once a forest of masts filled with ships from all corners of the world, including those of the Elder Dempster line, known as the monkey boats, because they carried monkeys instead of ship's cats.
Looking to the waterside, this is the King's Dock area, with its 10,600 capacity arena and conference centre. It accommodates events from rock and pop concerts to ice shows and international sporting events. To the left of the arena is the Albert Dock, the largest set of Grade 1 listed buildings in Britain. In 2018, it was granted the prestigious title Royal Albert Dock, in recognition of the pivotal role that it played in starting a resurgence of interest in Liverpool's wonderful architecture. Threatened with demolition for years, it was restored in the 1980s, and the Royal Albert Dock has become one of the country's favourite tourist attractions. To the left are the beautiful buildings known as the Three Graces, which together form one of the most majestic and famous waterfronts in the world. On the right is the Port of Liverpool building with its impressive copper dome. Opened in 1908, the design came from a rejected competition entry for the Anglican Cathedral. In the middle stands the Cunard building. Built in 1914, the building was designed in the style of a 16th century Italian palace, and was once the offices of the famous shipping line owned by Samuel Cunard, who operated the first regular transatlantic lines between Liverpool and New York in 1840. Other famous shipping companies followed, such as the White Star Line, owner of the Titanic, and the Blue Star Line. Their magnificent liners berthed along the famous Prince's Landing Stage, which was for many years the longest floating landing stage in the world. It was from here that over 9 million emigrants passed through Liverpool between 1830 and 1890 on their way to a new life in America.
Finally, the beautiful Liver building, erected by the Royal Liver Friendly Society in 1911, is perhaps Liverpool's best-known landmark. Based on a Chicago waterfront skyscraper, the building is topped by the famous liver birds, which stand nearly 6 meters high. They're said to be based on an eagle, which was the original seal of King John. However, when the seal was lost in the 18th century, the artist commissioned to design the new seal misinterpreted the eagle as a cormorant, hence their rather unusual appearance. Some say that the female liver bird faces the river waiting for the sailors to come ashore, while the male is looking inland to see if the pubs are open. They've never mated, so there are no other liver birds in the world, and tradition has it that if they ever fly away, Liverpool will cease to exist. Tours of the Liver building are available if you wish to see inside this iconic building.
Here at Pier Head, we are in front of the Liverpool Jerry Marsden ferry terminal. Inside, you'll find the Beatles Story Fab Four Cafe on the ground floor and the Pan-Asian restaurant Matu on the top floor. The Beatles Story is located just a short walk away in the Royal Albert Dock. The award-winning attraction takes visitors on an immersive journey through the lives, times, culture and music of the Beatles, and contains an impressive collection of fascinating memorabilia. For more information and to buy tickets in advance, please visit the Beatles Story website.
We hope you've enjoyed your cruise and look forward to welcoming you aboard again soon. Tell us about your day and share your pictures with us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching and following at Mersey Ferries.
I guess it could be a bit sleepy sometimes, like, you know,